Hello and welcome to Help My Daughter Loves Horses. I'm Allie and this is Noah. And today we're going to show you a little bit about 2-point. So I'm going to talk about what 2-point looks like, then also what 3-point is, and then I'll show you how to do it in the different gaits, and then I'll also show you a few common things that people do incorrectly. So 2-point is where you actually get up out of the saddle, and it's useful when you're jumping or doing things like cross country because it gets up off the horse's back and allows him to move underneath you. So 2-point looks like this. So the trick is you'll notice my rear end is actually out of the saddle, but my hips stay in line with my heels. So as your heels press back and your hips press back, then it allows your shoulders to fold closer into the horse. Now, 3-point is similar, but your seat lightly touches the saddle. And you might do this, and you can bring your shoulders back a little bit. And this is a really good way if you're coming up to a jump and you need to balance your horse really quickly. You can just get a little bit more contact in the saddle, gives you a little bit more strength to support your horse and any command that you might give him with your seat. So, things to remember about 2-point is that when you're in 2-point, some people lean too far forward and then put their weight on their horse's neck. And the problem with this is if he stops suddenly, you're going right over. Your center of gravity is not in the saddle. Other people sit too far back and then they can't balance, and you'll see them, they'll just fall over really easily. So you want to make sure that when you're in 2-point, you shouldn't need anything to hold you in place. You should be balanced right over with your hips and your heels in line right over your saddle, just like this. You shouldn't need to lean on your horse's neck, and you shouldn't be constantly having to touch back on the back of the saddle. Another common problem is that oftentimes people let their shoulders drop. And so you'll see them in 2-point and they'll be riding around in 2-point like this. And the problem is your butt's out of the saddle, so you can't use that as a big aid when you're in 2-point. And if you do this, now you don't have any rein power either. So you've basically taken away all of your stopping power on your horse. So you want to make sure that your shoulders stay back, pressed down. They're not pinched, not like this, but they're pressed down and firm against your back. And this way you can still use your rein aids as you're going. The last thing to notice is look at my heels. When I'm up here, my heels are down, and that's because since your seat is out of the saddle, all of that weight has to be balanced through your heels, so you need your heels to absorb that shock. If you've got your heels up, look how unsteady that makes me. And I'm all of a sudden very top heavy, I can fall over very easily. So you want to make sure that your heels are stretching down, down, down. So, now I'll just do a little bit of riding. You can see what 2-point looks like in all the gaits.
You can even just watch yourself.
So I actually refilmed me demonstrating the 2-point, because as I was watching the video the first time, I noticed that I was demonstrating a third common problem that people do in 2-point, and that is that they arch their lower back. So as you come forward, and you can see me doing it in the first part of this demonstration, I'm actually hollowing out my lower back. So what you want to do is, even though it's hard, you really want to work on bringing your lower back flat and strong. And 1, this protects you from injury, but 2, this actually makes you much more stable in the saddle. Here you can see, even as my hips are moving with the canter, that my back is staying flat and firm. Now, I had to practice this several times in order to really get that strong, firm back position. But you should keep that even when you're doing downward transitions. Thanks for watching this video. Help My Daughter Loves Horses. Check out our website for more.